Hey everyone, and welcome to the P-Wing. You know what time it is. Every YouTuber are making it, and I think I'm one of the first. I'm pretty early out, and it's because December is very busy for me, so I was thinking I will make this countdown early this year, and that's the top 10 best game of 2023. And I must admit that this year is probably my favorite gaming year of all time, better than 2017. And I know it's crazy because we got, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2, and many other games. But for me, this year have been very special, and I had a hard time to make a list over my top 10. Actually, I wish I could make a bigger list, but I think 10 games is more than enough for one video. And I will say that sometimes people are saying that I talk very hardly about many games, and especially in the recent years. But I must say, this year and last year have been one of my favorite gaming year of all time. Last year we got my favorite games of all time, Xenoblade 3. And when a YouTuber like me is talking about this is the best games of all time, some people are saying, yeah, you just say that because it's nice to hear in a YouTube video, but no, I'm not that kind of person. I really mean it. This year and the last year is probably my two favorite gaming year of all time, and maybe it's because my love for gaming has growing, and I see some games in a different light now. But I enjoy still older games. As an example, Donkey Kong Country 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. If I have to rank it, I will put it of my around top 5 over best games of all time. So you can see I still appreciate older games. So I have just been very lucky the last 2 years because, oh my god, we have got some gems. And I promise you, it has been extremely difficult to make a top 10. Oh, shit. And let's see if this video gets over 300 views. I will make a countdown over the worst and most disappointing games of this year. So let's start with number 10. At number 10 we have a game that I picked up recently, and I will say that probably this game will rank higher later down the road. And that's because I have only played this game while I have tried to translate it in the meantime. And I'm talking about Ys 10. I really love the Ys series, especially Ys 8 and Ys Origins. I wasn't the biggest fan of Ys 9, and Ys 10 had some good things going on, but I must admit, it's hard to enjoy a game when you can't understand what it's saying. It's only been released in Asia, and I can't read it. So there's no English subtitles. So I have sitting with my phone and try to translate it every time. And at the beginning it was fine, but 5 hours in, I was like, I will have to wait. I wait for next year when we probably get a European version. But the time I've played of the game is wonderful. I really love the combat system. I think I have a great feeling about the story, and the music is awesome. I still have some problems with the pacing of the Ys series. I thought the Ys 8 was very good for pacing the game great out, but in number 9, and I have a feeling in this one too, the pacing is very slow, and there are a lot of talking and go to this place to another place, and I'm not sure about the way they are taking the series. So I probably will like it better, but still number 10 is a great place, and I enjoy it. The graphic is questionable. It has some rough times, and it's not because just I play it on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 5 version and Xbox Series. I'm not sure actually if it had been released on the Xbox, but the PlayStation 5 version looks crappy too. It's not a beautiful game. I don't know why they don't. I will wish that they had use a little more love to the character and the movement. Not when you're playing the game, the movement in the game is playing wonderful, but under the cutscenes and the characters are just so stiff, and yeah, sometimes it can be hard to feel emotion for the characters, because it's not that I can still feel emotions when I play on an N64 or Super Nintendo game. But for the Switch, and when the graphic is like this, the frame rate is sturdy, but it's not good. It's not good. It has some frame rate problems, but I still enjoy it, and I still love the series. And I think I only played 5 hours, so it's hard to say that maybe it shouldn't be on the list, but still, I really enjoyed the time I had with the game, but I can rank it higher. So yeah, that's place number 10. At place number 9, we have a game that have a character that many people think I hate. And I understand why. I'm a Nintendo guy, and you know, back in the early 90s, there was a console war, and yeah, if you was a Nintendo fan, you couldn't like the Sega guys or the mascot from the Sega universe. There was a battle between Nintendo and Sega, and I must say this character has some bad games lately. Not lately, but in the last, yeah, I will say after he got into 3D. I was a huge fan of, not huge fan, I was pleasantly surprised last year with Sonic Frontiers. But this year we got 2 Sonic games, and as I told you, maybe I will make a worst list for the year. You will see one of the games on that list probably, but the other game, I really like that, and that's Sonic Origins Plus. It's the old games back from the Sega days with the Sega Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis it was called in USA. And I must say, I really love Sonic 1, 2 and 3 and Knuckles. I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic CD. I really don't like the level design in that game, and I know some people really love it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic CD. But this game is, I think, that they put a lot of love into this game, and I love that the games are connected in some kind of way. We have a little animated scene every time you start one of the games, and if you have completed it, you will see the transition over to from the game you were playing over to another game, and that's a nice little touch. I really love that, and the music is awesome. Sadly, the Sonic 3 music, that's the best music in my opinion, has been changed out because of the Michael Jackson copyright issues, problems. I don't know why the songs can't be on the game. It was back in the day, so I don't know why. So that's a little disappointed, but otherwise I had a blast with it, and I didn't play all the games, but I have played these games all the time, and I checked them all out, and I think that they have made a lovely touch, and I was sitting with a big smile on my face that I booted it up, and I had a blast, and I think I'll play with my brother later in this next month in December. So yeah, we can have a lot of fun with this. Pick it up if you love the old Sonic games. I think they have put a lot of love into this game. At place number 8, we have a game that I had a collector edition for, and I thought actually that this collector edition will be pretty rare, but the price hadn't risen. Actually, it still sits at the same price, and that doesn't matter. And the game I'm talking about is a JRPG, and I was pretty nervous about this game at the beginning because I wasn't the hugest fan of the first game, but there was something about the things I heard about the second game that I was like, yeah, I think I will pick it up, and that is Octopath Traveler 2, a game people don't talk about. Actually, when I was making this list, I was not sure that this game was released this year because I hear nobody talk about Octopath Traveler 2, and I have a feeling that many gamers are filled up with the HD 2D kind of touch graphic. In the beginning, when Octopath Traveler was released, the HD 2D graphic was very interesting, and I think that that game sold more copies because of the graphic. But then afterwards we got Triangle Strategy, we got Live Alive, we got Bravely, no, not Bravely Default 2, they had the chibi art style. But we got something more, I think. And then we have Octopath Traveler 2, so I have a feeling that people are filled up with that graphic. And I must say, I'm pretty filled up with the graphic too. This time, the graphic didn't impress me like it did in the first game, but beside that, the game is just better than the first one. The combat system is like the same, but the first game had an awesome combat system. But the stories in this game is much better. The people are more connected in the game, and I think that the story that's been told in this game is more interesting. So I was more connected to the characters. I will say that I wish there only was one Octopath Traveler game, and this was the first one, because I'm not sure I will pick up the third one if there will come a third one in the future, because I'm filled up now. But I must admit, I had a blast with the game. I think it was beautiful. I still wish that the stories were more connected, but otherwise, I think it's a great game. And look at this cover. Look, Square Enix makes beautiful covers. Actually, that was one of the reasons I picked up the collector edition, because I really think that the cover is one of the most beautiful covers on the Nintendo Switch, and one of the most beautiful covers ever. Maybe I should someday make a ranked list of most beautiful covers, I don't know. Pick it up if you love a classic JRPG game. At place number 7 we have a game that I wasn't sure that I was going to like, and I didn't pick it up even though it was very, very cheap. The game was released last year, I think, on other machines, or maybe it was just on Steam, I'm not sure, but this year we got it for Nintendo Switch. And it's Vampire Survivors. Every time I looked at this game, I was like, no, it looks like a rip-off. The characters look like some Class VNF characters, and it was just looking so repetitive, and I really thought it was ugly every time I looked at it. I couldn't see the fun in it. And one of my good friends, Mark, he was telling me all the time, you have to play this game, and he had a podcast with two other, Anne and Niklas, and they was just talking so good about it, and I was like, okay, maybe I should pick it up, and I heard many people talk good about it. I couldn't understand it until we was at a friend's house, and Mark, the guy that talked highly about the game, he was like, hey, why don't we play multiplayer in Vampire Survivors, and we can all check it out and see how good it is. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's go. And it's so weird why I didn't bought it before, because it's so cheap. Yeah, you can get it so easy. And then we play it, and I was blown away over how the gameplay could just win me over like that. Yeah. You have to play it. If you just look at the game, in my opinion, it looked like shit. But after you have played it, you just go with it, and the game the game is not repetitive. Actually, funny enough, it's very addictive. Every time you die, you just want to play it again. I think it's fun. It's not a game, in my opinion, that you will play for a long time, even though I know many people do it. I have fun with it. I have fun with it in around a week, and then I was done. But I had a blast with it that week, and it's so cheap, so you can, yeah, it's so cheap that you have no reason not to pick it up. The next game is a game that I played recently. Actually, it's the newest game I've played, and this game was a huge surprise for me. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Beholga? This game is a cheap indie game if you pick it up on the eShop. If you want it physical, it's a little bit more expensive, but still around, $30. So yeah, it's pretty cheap. I didn't expect anything with this game, but I must say, holy shit, this is retro game made with love. As I was sitting through the whole game with a big smile on my face. If you love a classic Castlevania games and a little bit of Super Ghouls and Ghosts and a little bit of I can't remember. If you just like old school games, this game is you can't go wrong with this game. The difficulty is at the right spot, and the music is kicking ass. The graphic is beautiful, and the game. And this is so weird. Why I talk about so highly about this game, and now I will say something that probably in many of your ears sounds like a bad thing, but it has charms. This game has so much jank. It has so many glitches and bugs and things like that. So many times I was stuck in a wall, but I could still get out after some time. And when I climb a rope, if I climb up to the top, sometimes the character will just move to the right into the air, and you can glitch through many of the bosses, but it was so much fun, and still the gameplay was so tight otherwise. This game has so many bugs, but it was still a blast to play, and I completed in 3 to 4 hours. It's a very short game, but it was very, very good. Even though it had many bugs. I would really recommend you to pick this game. And back in the days, the games had many bugs, so you get a really, really authentic game in this game. Try to pick it up. I really love it. I can't recommend it highly enough. All right, we are midway now, and at place number 5, we have a game that I don't hear anybody talk about. And maybe it's because it was one of the games that come very close at the beginning of the year. And I think that this game got many bad reputation because of the story and the voice acting. And I must say, the voice acting and the story in this game is horrible. Horrible. The game I'm talking about is Fire Emblem Engage. This game have one of the worst stories and voice acting I've ever played on the Nintendo Switch. This game is so cringe. It's so... I remember while I was playing the game, I was like embarrassed when my wife walked in and saw me playing it when there was a cutscene going on. And in the beginning, it just hit the bottom with the story and the voice acting, and I was like, oh my god, they are making up for a very sad scene, and I'm like, I can't take this serious. This is so embarrassing and so cringe. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just the beginning. It will be better now. But then we hit one of the last cutscenes in the game, and it was even more cringe. And it was so clearly that the game would like you to feel emotions, and it was a sad thing in the story, and there was a little twist, and I couldn't take it seriously. If you want to play a game for the story, you will hate this game. And some of you may think you are talking shit about this game. People. I think many people don't see the shine and sparkles in this game because it's fucking incredible beside the story. The combat system, the gameplay is one of the best in the Fire Emblem series. I will say this game is my second favorite Fire Emblem game after the GameCube version. After the GameCube game, I can't remember the name, but it's an extremely rare game that I sold back in the days. I had it in my collection. Oh my god, why did I sold it? But the GameCube Fire Emblem is the best Fire Emblem, hands down. And actually, I must say, the graphic is pretty good too. It's a good game. At place number 4, we have... Oh my. Now we are getting into the territorium where every one of the last 4 games could be at number 1. And all of these last 4 games is one of the best games I have ever played in my whole life. And oh shit, man. I had a hard time to place the last 4 games. This game at number 4 would rank higher if it was a new game. But it's a remaster. And the game I'm talking about is Metroid Prime Remastered. This game is it's the best GameCube game, first of all. And it's the best Wii game. If you have I have it somewhere. I have the Metroid Prime trilogy. This game has so much atmosphere, so much epicness. The world, the surroundings is masterful. I don't know, I can't sell you this game. People have to play it, and the magic in Metroid Prime for me is the surroundings, is the how you feel lost in the universe, how you feel alone on the planet, and combine that with one of the best soundtracks ever made. I use the music a lot in my videos, and when you get to the snow area and the music kicks in, and one of the best soundtracks ever made, you just feel the magic. It still holds up in my opinion, and one of the best games of all time. And guys and girls, I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4. I really hope we will see Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 before the fourth game comes out. And this game is the most beautiful game for the Nintendo Switch. A remaster is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful games for the Nintendo Switch. This has so much charm. The graphic is brilliant. The world is just so fun, and Samus is so fucking badass. Metroid Prime is one of the best games of all time, and if it wasn't a remaster, I would. Actually, I'm not sure, because the last three games is one of the best games I've ever played. I'm not sure. Maybe if it was a new game, it will still be at place number 4. I'm not sure. Maybe number 3. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. This game is a must play. You have to check it out. Holy shit. Metroid Prime have to sell more. We need more Metroid Prime games. Fuck, man. I love Metroid Prime. It's such a good game. Oh, such a good game. At place number 3, we have a game that I heard some people say that I'm talking too highly about, and it's just because I just played, and the reason why I love it so much, because I have said that this is my favorite 2D and 3D Mario game of all time. And some of you know that I love Super Mario World, and I love Galaxy, and I love Odyssey and things like that. But guys and girls, Super Mario Bros. Wonder was a game that I just had a smile on my face the whole time. Every level was new and refreshing for me. The music was so good, the art style was beautiful, and I wasn't sure about the art style at the beginning. I was unsure and scary that it would remind me too much of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, but no, this game just feels so much different when you play the game. I love the power-ups, and I wasn't sure about the elephant in the beginning, but holy shit, I love it now. Yeah, every level is just awesome, and I love the badge system. I love every level, and I think actually the first world is the weakest one. And the first world, I wasn't sure about the game was different enough. But when you clear the first world and come to the second, you are like, oh my god, this game is so good. This game is so good, and just builds on. And I love the third world, and the fourth world is so good too. And I have some people criticize the last final boss in the game, the Bowser fight. Yeah, spoiler, you fight against Bowser in the end. I think it was an awesome boss fight. I really love it. If I have to say something critic, is that it's probably a little bit too easy in my opinion. I have heard some people have a difficult time with the final last level. I didn't have any problems with it. I must say that I had a harder time to 100% complete Galaxy 2, the final run, and the perfect run, I think it's called, in Super Mario World, 3D World. I wish the game was a little bit harder, but it has so much replay things in it was just a blast. I really love it. Actually, while I'm sitting and talking about the game, I want to play it again. I want to restart the game, and I just want to relive the whole game one more time. And there is something special about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And for Super Mario Bros. For Super Mario 3D World 2, this game and Super Mario 3D World is two games that every time I play the game and I finished it, I think this game was incredible. And 2 days after, I can't remember any level in the game almost. And you can say that is a bad sign, because it didn't any level make a impact on you, didn't they touch you, or the game can't be that good if you can't remember any of the levels. And I think the reason why I can't remember many of the levels is because every level is just new. You just get new things put in front of you all the time, and sometimes I wish they will milk on the same idea for a longer time, but at the same time it's one of the things that I love about the game, is because every time there's just a new mechanic, there's just a new twisted thing. Oh my god, this game is so good, and it's my favorite Mario game of all time. I freaking fucking love this Mario game. Holy shit. Okay, now we are come to a point where it isn't funny anymore. We are in serious business. The last two games is groundbreaking for me. Is two games that make me cry. I'm not sure that I can talk about one of the games actually, because yeah, you can hear it later. But these two games are the reason why that this year is my favorite gaming year of all time. And battling close between the last year because of one game last year. This game, I think you will be surprised that this game is my second and not the first, but this game, I was so afraid before it got released. As many of you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Breath of the Wild, and then we got Tears of the Kingdom. At the second place? What the fuck, Daniel? You talk about that this game is one of the best games of all time, and you was in television and talking about the game, you was reacting about the game, and you made a review of the game, and the number one place, I haven't made a review of that game actually, so that's pretty crazy. This game is so good and so epic and so wonderful that I have a difficult time to talk about it. And in my little special review of the game, I made that review because I wasn't sure that I could talk about it. There are so many reviews of Tears of the Kingdom out on the internet. There are so many people that talk about the game, talking about the mechanics, the story, the gameplay, the mechanics, and everything, the music, stuff like that. And I just think that people have said everything about it, and I have to disagree sometimes, and I have to disagree sometimes, but I don't think that I have a new twist. And this game is groundbreaking for me because of one thing. This game is groundbreaking for me. And I can't believe it's over half a year since the game got released. It's over 6 months since this game got released, and I think I played last night. This Tears of the Kingdom means something special for me. It really does. It was just something special. I didn't feel the magic that everyone felt at Breath of the Wild, and there were some mechanics in the Breath of the Wild that I didn't connect with. As an example, the rain, that you couldn't climb it. You couldn't climb while it was raining. I thought that the movement through the world was too slow for my taste. Sorry about that. I didn't like the shrines. I didn't like the Divine Beast. I understand the music in Breath of the Wild, but it was too organic for my taste, and I know that that's the reason why many people love the game. And then we got Tears of the Kingdom, and how can you go for to talk about a game that you wasn't the biggest fan of to go to a sequel that almost are identical? And many people think that this game isn't that great because it reminds them too much of Breath of the Wild. For me, first of all, I felt the magic with this game. I don't know why. Maybe I was at a different place in my life this time, and I wasn't at the right moment to play Breath of the Wild the first time. But this time, at this game booted up, I was hooked at the beginning. I was blown away by the last trailer, and I had so high expectation. This game, I had so much fun playing it. The music for me is so much better fitting in Tears of the Kingdom. I love the saxophone. That every time you are falling down from the sky and you have a great view over the land. I love the build up to every dungeon. I think that some people are criticize the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom, and I understand why they do that when they just look at the dungeon, but I have to combine the build up to the dungeon with the dungeon. And that's the reason why the Wind Temple, as an example, is one of my favorite dungeons of all time. I just the build up. I can't feel myself while I'm talking about that dungeon and the build up. Oh my god! You come to the snow area and the ritual village, and everyone is gone, and you have to go through the caves and the snow everywhere. Then you see the big ship, and you have to climb over the sky, and the music is building up. Oh my god, it's so... I love Tears of the Kingdom. Holy shit. There are so many epic moments. When you get the Master Sword, I was blown away how you get the Master Sword. I was tearing up at the end of the game when... I can't talk about it. I won't make this a spoiler episode, but if you know, you know. One of the last things in the ending is so powerful. Yeah, you can see the review of the game I have, whereas I'm talking about that part. Oh, that part. But I fucking love Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god, play this game. Oh, it's such a good game. Oh my god. Okay, at place number 1. We have my second favorite game of all time. My favorite game of all time, as you know from last year, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And if you look back at my talk about that game, I had a difficult time to tell you why I love Xenoblade 3. You can get to a point when a game is so good that you can't describe and put in words. And I hate when I come to that point. I couldn't do it with Tears of the Kingdom, and I couldn't talk about Xenoblade 3. You have to understand, it's the combination of many things that have something special. When things get too special, you just can't explain it or good enough. It's a combination of the music, the story. I'm so sad because I know many people don't play this game because the main game, people haven't played that. And it's so weird to say that my second favorite game of all time is a DLC. And it got released this year. I know the main game got released last year, but my favorite game this year...
Niall! Granddad!
Matthew,
Granddad!
take care of Niall. The future.
Granddad!
It's in your hands, Matthew.
Is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 the DLC Future Redeemed. The DLC to the best game I have ever played is my second favorite game. And some of you may think, how can the DLC get noticed by how can a DLC be a game in your opinion? The DLC in this game, and sadly they haven't made a physical version. I hate that, but the DLC in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is not just a DLC. It's a game by itself. If you have played Torn of the Golden Contour, you know what I'm talking about. The DLC in Xenoblade 3 have a thing that just make the whole series connect. And I'm so sad, but I can't talk about it because the DLC is full of spoilers. I know so many people who have played Xenoblade 1 and they love it, and then they play the second one and they don't like it because there are some gotcha system and the art style is questionable sometimes with the ladies. And I know some people appreciate the second game more than the first and the third one. But the third game just combined the first and the second game and explain it all almost. And then the DLC come and they just blew my socks off. There's a moment in the DLC where I was just standing and watching and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was one of the biggest and best moments I have ever played. And I was tearing up, I'm almost tearing up just to think about how awesome that moment was. And if you're a hardcore Xenoblade fan or player, you know there's Xenoblade 1, 2, 3, and of course the DLCs between in the first one, the second one, and the third one. But there are 3 main games, and then we have a spin-off, Xenoblade Chronicles X. And the first time I played that game, I didn't like it. Oh my god, I didn't like it. And I replayed the game, and actually the second time I played it, I love it. But it's the black sheep. You don't have to play that game to understand the main series. You don't have to play Xenoblade X to play 1, 2, and 3. It has nothing to do with the main series. Or have it? Or have it? Or have it? If you're a hardcore Xenoblade fan, you have to play Xenoblade X. And I fucking love that. I can't believe that the DLC to Xenoblade 3 have a connection to Xenoblade X, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. Beside that, the gameplay, the world, the music, the combat system, everything is perfect in the DLC. Everything is just perfect. I love Xenoblade Chronicles. And I hope so much we get the fourth. I hope so much we get a new game in the future. The Future Redeemed. Okay, yeah, sorry about I couldn't talk about Xenoblade 3, the DLC, the Future Redeemed, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. These games just mean too much for me. But guys and girls, if this video get over 300 views, and I promise you I will make a countdown over the worst and most disappointing game of the year. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching the whole video. This was Daniel from the P-Wing. See you very soon.